Thursday, Lutheran East and Minster went 2 overtimes before the Falcons' Donnell Washington hit this three-point shot at the buzzer to advance for the first time to today's championship game, where they face the #1 ranked team in D4, Afrocentric. The Nubians wore down Continental behind the play of Donald Sewell, Laquan Perry, Lance Sullivan, and Trevante Lieutenant to also advance to their first championship game. It's the Division IV boys title coming up next on ONN. We are back live from Value City Arena for the second game of the day here on Championship Saturday. It's Afrocentric versus Lutheran East in the Division IV Championship. Hi everybody, I'm Dan Franzak with you once again, and we got some great storylines for this particular game. Lutheran East making their first ever state tournament appearance, and they're doing it under second-year head coach Roger McClinton. Afrocentric making their first state championship appearance in only their second year of existence. Unbelievable. Let's go ahead and break down the bracket, show you how these newcomers got to this point. Here's how they got here. East Falcons soared over Rosecrans in the regionals, and then as mentioned, they beat Minster in the semifinals. The Nubians beat the South Webster Jeeps, and then Continental on Thursday, setting up our D4 championship. Now, as part of the Ohio High School Athletic Association's Respect the Game program, the OHSAA received a $100,000 donation from Waste Management of Ohio to fund the program. This funding, combined with the OHSAA's resources, has provided signs, posters, souvenir program advertisement, as well as lapel pins and lanyards for the campaign towards sportsmanship and respect for the work and effort of their athletes. All right, the state championship game is coming up next right here on the Ohio News Network. It's Afrocentric versus Lutheran East right here on the Ohio News Network. We'll be right back with the tip-off. Are you ready for some basketball? It's the Division IV State Championship pairing Afrocentric and Lutheran East here live at Value City Arena. All right, we are just moments away from tip-off. Time to send it downstairs now to introduce our play-by-play team of Tim Bray and Ron Stokes. Guys.
Thank you very much, Dan, and good afternoon to you. With Ronnie Stokes, I'm Tim Bray, and I'll tell you what, Ronnie, I think we've got a terrific basketball game, a couple of first-timers. We might have a track meet here this afternoon.
It should be very interesting. You're talking about both coaches just their second year making it to the state championship game. High-octane type of basketball game collectively. Both of these teams over 80 points 20 times this year.
Afrocentric, the #1 team in the state, and they are led by Donald Sewell. What a player.
Well, he was not at his best in the Thursday semifinal game, scoring half of his average for the year, but he's a tremendous basketball player. Tri-player of the year in the Division IV, scoring over 22 points per game, doing it on the inside, as you can see right there. But he's very capable to drive as well. He's 11 rebounds per game, led his team to #1 final AP voting and #1 in the state. But the thing that can set himself different from the other players of the year is winning the state championship. That is on his mind today.
That is no question. And Mike Thornton is the 26-year-old young head coach of this Afrocentric team. And he talks about Lutheran East here and the comments about this Falcon team.
I know the Liggins brothers are low to handle, but we kind of compare them to some of the teams we faced in the city. They're kind of similar to some of the teams we faced as far as their personnel and their style of play. So we have to get back to our roots and get back to our regular season style of play, because once we hit the tournament, it's kind of a slow-down game, and we have times in the game where we can break. This is going to be a fast-paced game.
It should be an up-and-down basketball game. Lutheran East has won 21 games, lost only 5, and they're led by a little guy, Sam Liggins.
Well, I could definitely relate to that, being a little guy myself, but he's an explosive basketball player. I had a chance to watch him in the semifinal game, a crucial element in the fourth quarter for his team. They were down by 6 points, and then he had a little run of his own, scoring 6 straight points with 3 straight layups, and he's the type of guy that his coach will look for to be that leader, and he definitely does it with his scoring, with his driving, his passing. Was very crucial in that last-minute shot to win the basketball game. He's the man for Lutheran East.
Lutheran East with their head coach Roger McClinton, only in his second year, and he has to rely on this leadership on the floor.
Well, he's my coach on the floor. Sam's the team leader, guys. Listen to him. He's a great kid and a good basketball player. He's just a phenomenal kid, and he's one of the most humble kids you ever want to meet, and he didn't play last year, and you know, I was able to get him to come to Lutheran East, and he's just, you know, on the court, he's everything a coach can ask for.
And our third member of our crew is Stephanie Menike, and she's standing by now live. Stephanie?
Thanks, guys. Well, I'm actually in the middle of all the action right now here with the fans, and the fans is what we're talking about today, because every single game today has been sold out. The first game, you couldn't see an empty seat in here, and we're not talking about the same fans. After every game, the fans are cleared out, and the new ones are brought in, and many fans are still coming in now. You could probably see a couple empty seats behind me, but it is filling up quickly here, and it's important to mention the semifinals had a very good showing here. So again, 19,500 seats, and every single one of them is spoken for. It's sure to be an exciting and very loud game as all these fans here are cheering on their players. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Stephanie. Ronnie, I know that this place is going to fill up here in just a little bit. All right, starting lineups are brought to you by Donato's, and here are the starting lineups. Donato's certainly order responsibly and order Donato's. And first up, Afrocentric and Donald Sewell, the All-Ohio, all-everything player. 5 seniors start. Watch out for Laquan Perry. He is a load, can play outside and inside. And for Cleveland Heights Lutheran East, the Falcons, led by the 2 Liggins brothers. Sam, the player of the year in the state. John, his junior brother. And inside, Larry Overton can get it done as well. That's your starting lineups presented by Donato's. All right, here are the officials for today's game. Kevin Hyde, Jesse Smith, and William Nicholson. Those are the officials that will call this Division IV state championship game. Holgate was the champion a year ago. We'll have a new champion this year. And Ronnie, as you saw the 2 semifinal games, the pace is going to be frantic.
Well, one of the concerns for Lutheran East, you know, they go to 2 overtimes in that semifinal game on Thursday. Fatigue could be a factor, but you know, when you're this young, you could throw that out the window. It's about trying to win a state championship for the first time, and you know, you think about this. You got player of the years on both sides. You got coaches for the first time making it to the state championship. You know, it could be nervous in the beginning, but I think this should be an exciting game today.
Well, both of these teams are second half teams. They've struggled during the tournament in the first half of the basketball games, the first 2 quarters, but they should be raring to go by the second half. All right. It'll be Lieutenant against McQueen, and we got 8 on the clock, and here we go. Automatic in the paint, and Sewell misses the first shot of the basketball game, and the Falcons come out running. Liggins with his first shot, and that's John, who has stepped up in the tournament and put it in the hole. Quickly up to Sewell. He's on the block, missed a little lay-in, and he's going to go to the free throw line with a whistle and a foul against the Falcons and John Shannon.
I was talking to one of the assistant coaches yesterday about Sewell and the way he didn't live up to his expectations in the scoring column, and they felt that he might have put too much pressure on himself, trying to prove to everyone that he was deserving of the player of the year. And he's just a young man who's just going to have to come out here and relax and play the game of basketball. Struggled, missed his first 2 attempts in this basketball game, but sometimes making a couple of free throws will set you at ease.
A little nervousness, but you get your stroke down at the free throw line, and he knocks down a pair, and we're tied for the first time in the ballgame. Both of these teams like to play man-to-man. This is the Division IV state championship game in White Lutheran East. Out of Cleveland Heights, they won the East Suburban Conference. And here's another long-range bomb by Liggins, no good. And this is Perry, and he'll take it the length of the floor. Dish down to Sewell, missed it. Rebound is no good. Lieutenant gets it back, missed it again, and it's on the end line, out of bounds to the Falcons.
Well, there's one thing for sure. Afrocentric is getting second and third opportunities, and sometimes those can come back to harm you there if you don't convert early.
Sam Liggins with a basketball. One of 3 Division IV Players of the Year. 2 of them in this game, Sewell and Liggins. Curtis Brown was the other. And you get in the air, you're going to turn it over, and that's what the Falcons did. Here's Sewell off the glass and in.
Another somewhat slow and sluggish start here for the Falcons.
Cleveland Heights Lutheran East started slow in the regional final. In the semifinal, they had to go to 2 overtimes just to get to this game.
what Coach McClendon talked about, it's really been just in tournament play where things have kind of been slow in the first and second quarters. Obviously, with the number of times that they've scored over 80 points, scoring points is not an issue.
No, not at all. Neither one of these teams have any issues with that at all. First foul of the game on Lance Sullivan, and the first team foul on Africentric. They're out of Columbus. They're in purple. You watch from the baseline. Long launch is off the iron. Africentric on the run, got bumped on the way down, and that is Marquise Hamler taking it coast to coast, and a foul call.
Well, long three-point shots can result in long rebounds, and that time it was basically an outlet pass for Africentric.
Larry Overton picks up his first and the team's second. They don't waste a lot of time. Shot clock would not be an issue if they had it in high school basketball. Ball is knocked away. Last touch by Africentric.
And they don't really play, and I'm talking of Africentric, a full court trapping type of defense. It's basically man-on-man and trying to stop your guy from penetrating.
Africentric in purple, they are the #1 team in the state in Division IV. They've been there all season long. They play up in the city of Columbus, play a lot of Division I schools, 8 of them to be exact, and they play in their league. And here's Sewell with the steal, great pass, and a walk.
Got to take an extra dribble. In NBA, you get away with that, but not at the high school level.
Marquise Hamler took one more than is allotted.
Quick hands by Sewell, though.
Much more than what we saw in the semifinal game. Very active with his hands here. Early going with 5:44 to play in the first quarter.
Well, you can get your offense started with your defense, and it appears that Sewell's trying to do that here.
Sam Liggins, one-on-one off the back of the rim. A rebound off to Sewell. Sewell's going to go coast to coast with it and count it.
Wow, it seemed like long rebound after long rebound, resulting in 2-on-0 breaks for Africentric.
And they're out to an 8-2 lead, and 6 of the 8 by Donald Sewell. A little bit of offense here, and Sewell is just owning Sam Liggins right now. That matchup is one that we thought would be the game within the game, and Sewell has got his fingers on every ball.
And very quick hands there, and he was somewhat pushed there by Sam Liggins, but the official didn't see that right in front of the Africentric bench.
Man-to-man by the Nubians. Liggins to the hole, and he's got another one. That is John's 4th point. He's got 2 field goals, and he's got both field goals by Luther. There's a long one by Hamler, no good, and the rebound is cleared out of there by the Falcons. They need a hoop because Africentric has doubled them up here in the first quarter.
Tim, you're right. You don't need a shot clock in this basketball game if there was one at the high school level.
There's the long pass. Hamler's going to get it knocked away, and it will be out of bounds to Africentric.
Yeah, Africentric definitely must have seen something in the tapes. They are trying to beat Lutheran East in transition on every single defensive stop.
Michael Thornton, the head coach at Africentric, said that Jason and Michael Bates, who are the sons of the head coach at Libby, broke down all the tape here for these two. And Sewell is going to get called for traveling, and so it'll be Lutheran East basketball.
Oh, there was elevation there. He came down among a bunch of players, did not have proper footing, lost his balance, and was called for traveling.
Nice,
again, here's that full court pressure of Africentric.
So far, it has been the pressure defense by the Nubians has been the difference in this basketball game, which is 8-4 in favor of the purple team, and that is Africentric.
Well, Coach Mike Thornton talked about it, that he wanted to disrupt Lutheran East's offense, and that's one way you do, getting into the passing lane, deflecting, and it really hurts your team continuity, and that's why it's so good to have guys that's ready to step down and play good defense.
Long one by Butler is no good. Perry with a rebound. He could play linebacker on my team and get out of the way. Here he comes all the way for the 2 points.
I love Laquan Perry. He is so steady on this basketball team. He does so many things for Africentric.
He was spectacular in the semifinal game.
You know, with his size, typically he'll play a 3 or 4 man, and He can guard them defensively, and at the other end, that 3 and 4 guy have a well of a time trying to defend him.
Nice switch out front, and wow, what a shot. John Liggins is feeling it. He has all 7 of Lutheran East points.
It's Liggins and Liggins Incorporated here today.
Sewell with it. 3:19 and counting, first quarter. I really like the way Afrocentric plays this basketball game. A lot of movement on the offensive end. Falcons do too. They're more perimeter oriented, but they'll punt. And Afrocentric's going to try to go down on a block as they did right there to Sewell, and it's out of bounds to Afrocentric. They have had the upper hand here early in this Division IV state championship game. We're at Value City Arena in Columbus. Back in a moment.
This Ohio High School Athletic Association Boys Basketball Championship game is brought to you by Grange Insurance, your partner in protection, by the Ohio Education Association, great public schools for every child, by the Ohio Association of Public School Employees, and by STAND. Stand up, speak out against tobacco.
Afrocentric with their young 26-year-old coach Mike Thornton with an early lead here. He's a guy that's been around a little bit, been in the tournament in 2001, and Roger McClinton, second-year coach at Lutheran East. A year ago, he had an ineligible player, and because of a transfer bylaw, he had to forfeit all 14 of their wins, but he took the blame because of a paperwork issue, and here they are in the state championship game and have the basketball.
He split the duties as the coach and the AD.
Long two-pointer, no good. And Sewell with the rebound. The Liggins are just jacking it up from outside, but that's their game. Inside they go. Lieutenant with the shot, and he will go to the free throw line. Travante Lieutenant with the attempt, and look at him on the block.
Again, going inside by Afrocentric, and I think that's their strength today. Lieutenant and also Sewell and Perry, all of those 3 guys can take it inside against the smaller Lutheran East team.
John Shannon with his second personal foul, team's third. Lieutenant at the free throw line with his first opportunity, a 7.8 points per game player so far this year.
And Afrocentric is hurting Lutheran East on the board. 4 offensive rebounds for Afrocentric and 0 for Lutheran. A lot of that's because they're settling for the long 3-point shot and resulting in an outlet pass for Afrocentric, as I said earlier.
Second one no good, and the rebound is cleared out of there by Larry Overton, but rolls out of bounds, and the Falcons will have it. You saw George Hayden come in, 20 just a moment ago. He's a 9th grader. They've got 2 9th graders. Paul McQueen also plays a lot.
Hayden's just at 6 points per game.
Perry with the steal, and will go to the free throw line. He is like a locomotive coming down the track, and he loves to drive the ball.
Well, again, the ability of Perry, going from the right hand to the left hand, great body control, drawing the contact from John Liggins. Go to the line for 2 free throws, but there's a guy sitting on the bench for Lutheran East who's just chomping at the bit to get in, and that's Washington. Number 15, he hit the game winner in the semifinal game for Lutheran. So trust me, when he comes in, it's going to change the complexion of this basketball game.
1 out of 2 for Perry. 4th team foul, by the way, on Lutheran East. I'm a bit surprised that Roger McClinton hasn't gone to him yet. I mean, you're trailing 11-7. Liggins going with a floater in the lane, and the ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll be out to Afrocentric. But don't you think it's about time to see this young man?
Well, I guess that's why we're sitting here and he's standing or sitting over there as a coach. Whatever he did Thursday night, it worked. But obviously Washington, 57 threes on a year. He's the type of guy coming off the bench that gives Lutheran East a tremendous boost.
Tipped out of bounds by Brandon Butler. It'll stay with Afrocentric. 11-7. Nubians with a lead, and they'll inbound the basketball. This is the Division IV game. All 4 state finals here on ONN. And nice. Lieutenant puts it down.
Again, it starts with Perry, though. The penetration, drawing the defenders, then a nice little shuffle pass to his teammate, and then the flush. Boy, that's just beautiful basketball.
And he draws the foul in the process.
Just sizing it up. Look at it, 4 white jerseys, just stepping up and just finishing it strong. And again, the big thing about Laquan Perry is that he's 6'2", very physical, like a man among boys at times because of his strength and playing under control.
Lieutenant is 6'7", skinny, but he can maneuver in the lane. That last foul was on Overton, his second, and the 15th foul all the way on the Falcons. Here's another floater. It hits off the back of the iron. Liggins couldn't get it down. Sewell lost control of it. And this is Sam Liggins out in space. Nice move, got it.
And the Liggins, that's when they're at their best, in transition.
And once again we go the other way, and Lieutenant is on the glass immediately, drawing the foul and getting the hoop.
Unselfish basketball, and that starts with your coach implementing that from day one. Sewell on the left side getting that outlet pass, but having the presence of mind touch pass, because if he didn't do that, the defense would have been able to get back. And again, like I say, you go back to the coaches on the sideline. You have to preach that, because you have guys getting honors at the end of the year. You know, selfishness and envy could come in, but if you emphasize team basketball, you get to the championship basketball game.
Lieutenant failed to complete the three-point play, and there's another pick. Ball is on the floor, whistle and a foul called, and that is on Brandon Bowers, his first, and the team's second.
Bowers is what they call a defensive stopper. He comes in and will wreak havoc on the opposing team's backcourt. I mean, in the game against Continental, just shut down their backcourt.
Well, Brown was a co-player of the year, and he was a non-factor in that basketball game, Curtis Brown. Minute to go coming up here in the first quarter. Falcons looking to score it. And off the window, getting it done is Sam Liggins.
Just quick hitters. One dribble, an explosion, and then off the glass.
Under a minute. My guess they don't sit on it. Perry with a spin.
And you're right.
And a drive.
I guess it's not that difficult.
5 for Perry. And a steal. Sewell with the bucket.
Put a little run here at the end of the first quarter.
8 for him. Sewell's got 8, and it's a 9-point difference. And another steal. Perry with a no-look. And a layup. Bowers with his first basket. All the way down into the paint. And another block. Lieutenant got that one. Liggins didn't get it. Did not get the bounce, and a foul called with 2.3 seconds to play in quarter number 1.
Well, they're definitely getting their money's worth in terms of shot selections. Both of the Liggins, they put it up very quickly. Clearly over the back there. That was Hayden.
So 2 on George Hayden. The 9th grader did not have inside position. We're in the 1-on-1 already, guys. So far, Africentric has owned the free throw line. 4 out of 8. They haven't put too many in, but they're getting to the line, forcing the action.
Well, it's shot selection. They're attacking the glass. That's why they're getting fouled.
And that is the end of quarter number 1. It has been an exciting 8 minutes. 22-11, Africentric leading here after quarter number 1. It's a 12-4 run that gets it done.
This Ohio High School Athletic Association basketball championship game is brought to you by Donato's Pizza. Try the new Donato's Smokehouse Barbecue Pizza. Order responsibly. Order Donato's. By Ohio Parents for a Drug-Free Youth. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking. And by Marathon Oil. Want to save on gas? Start shopping and start saving when you use the Marathon Platinum MasterCard.
Africentric leading as we start the second quarter. The Falcons of Lutheran East should be named the Liggins of Lutheran East. They've got all the points, 11 of them so far, but it's been a 12-4 run by Africentric.
Tim, the same deficit that the Lutheran East have in this game, they had it in the semifinal against Minister. They were down 21-11 to end the first quarter.
And there's a steal. Quickly ahead, and Bowers will take it off glass. I want to chart the number of layups in this game. because so far, Africentric has had the easy ones.
And layups and turnovers. Lutheran East just very careless with the basket.